control column in the cockpit on a majority of Airbus aircraft. It allows the pilots to push and roll the aircraft. The Sidestick has two switches, a draw function autopilot disconnect switch, which can also be used as a priority takeover push button, and a push to talk button for communication. The Sidestick was first introduced in the Airbus A320 along with the fly-by-wire system. Now this design is used in many modern military fighter aircraft and also on civil aircraft, including most Airbus aircraft after A320.
So the shift from a central control column to a Sidestick is a result of the increased automation of the modern aircraft. Aircraft nowadays require less manual control, and even if manual control are needed, it's usually one hand on the yoke and the other on the throttle. So that's why a Sidestick is appropriately placed to the side of the seat. Engineers see that as an opportunity to declutter the control board by automation, and after moving the yoke to the side, engineer can use the area around the lap as a surface for lap board, maps, and keyboard for operation of the flight management system, the FMS. So the electronically linked control also bring additional benefits to easier engineering, while as compared to the mechanically linked yoke, it makes the main computer controlling all the system instead of having a lot of separate systems.
When the autopilot or the pilot themselves make control inputs of the aircraft, there is no physical motion cues indicating the command input. The pilots need to identify the motion of the aircraft by either the PFD or visual reference. In other words, the Sidestick does not provide force and visual feedbacks to the pilots. Under high workloads, paired with long lapses in attention span, the asynchronicity of Sidesticks weakens the effectiveness of pilot monitoring, undermining safety. This is not intuitive, since the pilot lost spatial awareness. They may encounter spatial disorientation, causing them to misunderstand the current aircraft motion and make dangerous inputs.
Pilots, especially low-thrust pilots, will have to rely more on visual cues of their hand movements for accurate inputs. Yet, putting the stick on the side is inhibiting pilots from seeing these movements. According to a research done by Tynan and Schooler about motion processing in peripheral vision, reaction time is increased with the increasing eccentricity degree. Simply speaking, our visual attention is top-down and central assist, but the Sidestick is placed in the mid-peripheral area, therefore the reaction time increases. This also varies by the speed of our retina movement. Moreover, according to another research, it is concluded that the pilot's response are proportional to the displacement between the pilot's body and the position of the Sidestick. The time lag for the neuromuscular system is longer when the displacement is higher, delaying the pilot's response.
Airbus 447 is an example of how synchronous control negatively impact on the safety of the flight. In the case of Air France 447, both of the pilots made simultaneous and contradictory inputs and didn't realize that they were doing so until it was too late to save the aircraft. The pilots had unintentionally made it harder for them to monitor collision in stressful situations.
Our first modification, which we would like to make, is the removal of the asynchronous of the Sidesticks on the conventional Airbus aircraft. This ability is unintuitive and, as proven before, can lead to a loss in spatial awareness if proper crew resource management is not maintained. In addition, this enables us to remove the need of the priority takeover button, since both Sidesticks are in sync.
Furthermore, since the Sidesticks can be seen through the mid-peripheral section of an individual's eyes, we decided it was best to place the Sidestick central as opposed to the side, similar to the current design of a C-17. This will enable pilots to see what their hands are doing and increase situational awareness, and overall reduce reaction time, enhancing the safety and performance of pilots.